Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. And now to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. Representing the three-time Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils, Arlette.
I feel like I'm at a game. Oh my gosh. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Yeah. Happy Devils Sunday! This is the Let's Go Devils podcast. No, it's not post-game. It's season 4, episode 21, titled Last Call to Make an Impression for the Season. If you want to make this team, I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Beer Baron and Scotty of SiriusXM Liquid Metal. Streaming live on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Guys, we got one more makeup game to go tomorrow against the Philadelphia Flyers. At least it's some team that we've beaten 3 straight. Could have been 4. But, hey, you can't win them all. Not an impressive showing yesterday, but lots of things going on with this team, with the draft lottery, the expansion draft, the draft itself. And there will be some changes.
There will be some blood.
Pain.
The streets of Newark will run red with blood. No, there will be changes. There will be changes, and rightfully so. But yes, it's exciting to see.
Thank goodness Sam Wu isn't the GM of this team. He knows nothing, according to some guy on YouTube.
Well, we all know nothing. We just pretend we do, right, Sam?
Yep, exactly. This is the pretend podcast.
Yeah. I don't know anything. I don't know you. You don't know me. We don't know nothing. It's like that dude from National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon, which is, by the way, one of the funniest comedies of all time. Remember, you saw nothing and you hear nothing, and there's a blind guy in the corner. So, Listen, this team's got some. Once again, here we are, the draft lottery, boys. What do we get? Number 1, number 2, number 3. What door are we going to get to open up this time? It's just this same old merry-go-round, and you know what? Might as well jump on and enjoy the ride because it's all we got going for us because we're not making the playoffs and, whatever. So, we'll get closer to the draft and we'll talk more about like the potential draft picks. I'm sure a lot of things will start to unfold. June 2nd is the draft lottery, if I'm not mistaken. So between now and then, there's going to be a lot of things that could possibly happen. The expansion draft is going to shake up the roster a little bit, who they're going to make expendable and who are they going to protect and all the other kind of stuff, and who the Devils could possibly target and bring into the team to fill in some of the needs. Because let's keep in mind, there's going to be a lot of teams that are not going to want to lose, a pretty solid defenseman or a pretty solid winger for nothing. And, maybe they don't want to expose it to Seattle, so they're going to try and look to move it. So here's the Devils. We got 2 number 1 picks. We can take that Islanders pick and we can package it for something pretty nice and get something in return, because I know this year a lot of those number 1 picks are pretty coveted, but I could be wrong. What do you think there, Scotty?
Well, I'm thinking about the expansion draft, really. Just who the Devils are going to expose, who they're not going to expose for it, all the different, rules for it. I thought it might be interesting to go over what the rules actually are in case anybody isn't sure about what it is and who can be available. Because I know Sam Wu was making some wild rumors up on the post-game show the other day.
And that's why he got told he didn't know what he was talking about? Is that where that all stemmed from?
I know nothing.
He
knows
nothing at all.
Right.
Sam Wu. We were talking about players possibly to expose in or not protect. So here are the rules, just so everyone knows.
Okay.
And this is why what Sam said the other day is plausible, and what I said the other day is plausible. All players, first off, okay, current NHL teams can protect 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 1 goalie, or 8 skaters, forwards, defensemen, and 1 goalie, under the following conditions. All players with no movement clauses at the time of the draft and who decline to waive said clauses must be protected. So if you have anyone with a no movement clause, no trade, no blah, 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 he can just say that I don't want to go to Seattle. You got to protect them. All first and second year professionals. So breathe easy.
Jack
no one
Hughes.
can steal Ty Smith. No, Jack Hughes needs to very much be protected because he will be a third year.
Oh, yeah, that's right,
year.
Because he's third year. You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
So Beer Baron will not be
Yes.
registering up for the GM appointment there, because we don't want him
Not at
giving
all.
away.
Not at
You
all.
guys,
Nope.
geez, Sam Wu's just giving away Severson. Beer Baron's giving away Jack Hughes over here. He's exposing. Man,
No.
let's go Devils
I was
podcast.
trying
Let's go
I
crazy.
was trying to protect him. Trying to protect him.
Trying
Go
to
on.
protect. So all first and second year professionals. So Ty Smith not available for this. Kevin Ball, if he played more games, would not be affected by this. Guys that are affected by it, who you're not thinking of, are like a Sharon Govich and a Kuokkanen, who have played professionally. So it's all first and second year professionals.
Yeah,
so
but
it's a little bit of a.
Are you 100%? Are you 100% sure that they count KHL experience as being
KHL and
towards
AHL and AHL? They both have time there as well. So yes, so both of them will need to be protected. Okay, so keep that in mind. All first and second year professionals and all unsigned draft choices. So don't worry about Muhammad Doolin or anything like that. They can't take any of that. In addition, teams must meet the following minimum requirements regarding players exposed for selection draft. 1 defenseman who is under contract next year for 2021, 20. Yes. Hang on. B has played at least 40 games the prior season, meaning this season, or 70 games in total the last 2 seasons. Okay?
Yeah.
2 forwards, same thing. Both have to be under contract for 21-22. Played at least 40 games here, or 70 combined. And those are NHL games. Those are not professional games. Those are NHL games.
games.
In this part, yes. And 1 goalie. Okay, same thing. Has to be signed for 21-22. Players with potential career-ending injuries who have missed more than the previous 60 consecutive games may not be used to satisfy a team play. So you can't expose someone who's on the long-term injured reserve. just to get like by, like, yeah, exactly.
We'll give you a first round pick if you take this guy off our hands, kind of crap. That doesn't fly.
Yeah. So you jumped right to where I jumped at with PK, and that's what I immediately thought, because just for Seattle in general, he's PK's a star.
Big name.
You know, he's a star. He's a big name. He's going to shoot the puck. He's good with the media. Mm-hmm. You know, he could be, I was telling, he'll be hosting events. He'll be doing everything, you know, meet and greets with fans. Like, he's a great player to have on an expansion team like that. He does got a hefty price tag, you know, to go along there with.
They can fit it right now.
Exactly.
That's the beauty part of it.
Exactly. So when I was going through the forwards, I think it's pretty easy, you know, with our forwards, Nico, Jack, who, you know, at first I will tell you, I made the same mistake you did, because I wasn't thinking
because you're thinking of second year, not going into third year. Yeah.
Exactly. So Jack does need to be protected. So Nico, Jack, Pavel, Yegor, Yanni, Jesper, Miles. 1, 2,
those
3,
7
4,
are the
5,
ones that we're
6, 7.
Okay.
Those are ones. Now, see, that leaves your boy Mikey McLeod exposed.
I know. And I wouldn't be shocked if he's the one that gets tagged, but whatever.
3 defensemen.
Okay.
So you know, you have a
you don't have to worry about Paul.
You don't have to worry about
Murray's
Paul
a UFA right now.
Murray, well, you can protect him if you think you want to re-sign. Well, that's right. He does UFA, so he's not under contract for next year. I wonder how that actually works. So Will Butcher, Damon Severson, PK Subban, Jonas Siegenthaler, Matt Tennyson.
Siegenthaler is going to be protected for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Severson will be protected for sure. If I had to gander, like, guess at it, how many can you protect? How many of those?
3. So you got Butcher, Murray. Well, Murray writes the UFA. Butcher and Subban. Connor Carrick's also a UFA.
So I would guess that they would probably protect Severson and Siegenthaler for sure. Maybe like in the number 3, that third one is a little tricky, because if they find a way to sign Murray, or if they try to find a way to extend him, I could see them obviously, that would be an obvious protect, right? Because you don't lock somebody up and then go, all right, see ya.
I could see them bringing Murray back next year as well, too.
Oh, 100%. I definitely could. So
he's someone that they could probably sign for another like year or 2, like only get him on a short-term deal, you know, and then he might just be trade bait again at the deadline when someone else is ready finally to come up, you know, midway through the season next year. One of our prospects that are finally ready to make the transition up. Boom, try to flip them for something else. You know, I'm down with that, but there's only one spot to protect left. If you're keeping Siegenthaler and Severson, see, Sam Wu was ready to kick Severson out the door there the other night when we started talking about this.
Severson.
I know everyone does.
Severson. A lot of
people would snatch any GM would snatch him up in a heartbeat. But that is also the thing. I checked this out. Sam, Both Severson and PK don't have no movement clauses, so they can. They are eligible to be left unprotected. Go ahead, Sam. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that little detail out. Oh, he puts himself on the big screen.
I want to explain myself.
Oh boy!
It's not that I don't like Severson.
Backtracking.
This is what I was trying to point out about Severson. I want
he scores on us all the time.
Besides that, I want to protect every
our goal
single
from him scoring on us
player, because Severson's been on the Devils for a while.
Yeah, but they're not going to be exposed.
Players like
this
Mikey
is what you
McLeod
call a devil's reach right now.
Hold on a sec. Guys like Mikey McLeod could be exposed. There are certain players that could be exposed, and I don't want
that
them
is something.
Exposed.
That is something
have
you
them
could do.
take Severson to save the future.
So I think it depends on a few things, because then you have to look at who you're going to protect, and you're not protecting Matt Tennyson. You're not going to protect. You could listen. I love PK Subban in the sense of like his personality. I think the guy is a really good human being, but at the same time, does he really fit the mold of what the Devils are trying to do going forward? Probably not. His cap hit's really big. He's on the backside of his career, but marketing wise,
he's a good leader.
Marketing wise,
he's a good leader.
He is a good leader, 100%. And production wise, he was starting to pick it up this year, and then he got that huge cut in his leg, and then he got COVID, and that's it. And that's the season.
Oh, by the way, that gash was
that's a hockey player, boy. That's a hockey player.
Oh man, if anybody
he got stitched up and he went back out in the ice. That's a hockey player.
Oh my god. Like he was literally like, it looked horror movie, like just his leg was just like
yep.
If anyone hasn't seen that, PK on his Instagram, it's gross. I'm not gonna lie, it's gross, but it's just like, wow.
That's
someone tripped and Skate Blade came up and when I'm talking sliced his leg, and dude, I mean that's close to some artery area over there too. I was like shocked to see how that Skate Blade really it did. Like,
dude, you're like, well, that's. Hey, if you want to see something bad, look up Clint. What the heck is his last name? McClintock. I think it's I forget his or McClintock.
Jim McClintock.
No.
Jim
McClintock. Jim.
McClintock.
Somewhere his ears.
They got the goalie. The goalie that got the slice.
Goalie neck slash. Jesus Christ! Yeah. I mean that, and then it happened. God, it happened in a game where the Panthers were playing, and I think I can't remember who it was, but he like tripped, and his foot came up and caught somebody right in the neck, and then it was like the same deal. It's crazy. Like people don't understand how dangerous skate blades actually are. Some people watch the game casually, don't actually understand that. But all that being said, let's get back into the expansion draft. There's a question I have about this, because there's a lot of people that have very big misconceptions about it. When Vegas was going through the expansion draft, how many players from the Devils did they take?
One.
They took John Merrill. John
Merrill. That's it. They can only take one. You can only take one player. That's it.
So everybody freaks out like about, we need to protect this guy. We need to protect that guy. We need to do. Listen, you're not going to lose 4 or 5 guys. You're going to lose one. You're going to lose one player. It depends, and I forget how they structure, like how they're able to pick or when they're able to pick. All that kind of crap. I forget how it works. So I have to look into that. But they only lose one player. So I know it seems a little like when you're like, we got to protect these guys, but these guys are going to be the ones that are exposed. They can't go in there and take, 3 defensemen and take, a Mikey McLeod and this guy and that guy. So they're going to
only one.
They're only going to take one. So if I were Seattle, and I'm not just trying to unload them, because I really do think PK is good for this team. But PK Subban makes so much sense for a team that's expanding. And I mean,
I said the exact same thing the other day.
Be the face of your franchise. Yep. So
for an expansion franchise, he is a great person to have there, just because he is super savvy with the media. He will go on and he'll do all the the press and stuff like that. He'll meet after the games. He'll talk. He'll be a great asset to an expansion team. And yeah, he did. He picked up his game this year. He played a lot better, this year. Actually, showing some more of that offense that we missed, but even a little bit more responsible on the defensive end too, And I don't have a problem with PK. like that, not like Sam Wu and Damon Severson, obviously. But I totally agree with you in the fact that, like, if you have an expansion team, he is just a good person in general to put there for like a first year, especially in a big city like Seattle, like a sports hungry city,
100%. And if you asked him, he would probably say like, yeah. Like I could picture him wanting to take that on because of the personality that he has. Like being in New Jersey is great and all, but I mean, for somebody like that you're trying to grow the game and get more exposure for the game, and you're trying to like do things, that PK fits that mold for. I don't necessarily think that New Jersey is like the best fit for him. You have unfortunately, you have the Rangers right there. You have the Philadelphia Flyers right over here. So we've always been in the shadows of those two teams. It's undeniable. And especially, you have a team like the Islanders that have been playing really well, and we've been terrible. We've been absolutely terrible. So he's not going to be here for the turnaround. He's got one more year. They're not going to resign him after that anyway. So yeah, 100%.
And look,
it makes
what did Vegas do?
To be honest,
Vegas got their team and they went straight to the finals in the first year. So if I was PK and I look at that, like,
but that's a lot of pressure for. I would hate to be the GM. What is it, Ron Francis? That's going to be the GM of Seattle.
Yeah,
I would hate to be in that position because you look at what Vegas is. They came into, like you said, they came into the league. They went right to the Stanley Cup Finals. Not only that, they've been a perennial cup contender since they've been in the league. So they've been a playoff team and one of the better teams in the West. But you also have to account that to Marc-Andre Fleury and the fact that the Penguins completely screwed the pooch on who they were going to protect in goal. That's which I've had a discussion with one of my friends who's a really big Penguins fan. And we've talked about this a few times where he was like, do you think that it was the right move exposing Fleury? And he was like, unfortunately, at that specific time, yes. But would they do it in retrospect? Hell no. But, that's the thing. They were riding the hot hand, and they kind of fell into that trap. But if I were to put money on it, if we could go down to Atlantic City and put money on it, I would have to say, if PK is one of the defensemen that's not protected, he is going to be the one that the Kraken take. It makes the most sense. Makes the most sense.
I would definitely think so. That's my perspective on it. And then, I've been, to be quite honest with you, in the last couple weeks, I've been very, pleasantly surprised in what I've seen from Will Butcher. Sam and I on the post games have talked
except for last game.
Well, last game
he had a little bit of a rough go. But yes, I agree. I agree, though.
We joked that Barry Trotz, before the game, when, hey guys, Lou Lamoriello is the GM over here who was having a notorious history of firing coaches with minimal games left in the season. We just lost 6 of 8. Can you win one for old Trotzer over here and save my job, guys?
Oh my Lord.
But Will Butcher, we talked about it. He fell out of favor with the coaching staff earlier in the season. Was just regulated to, extra defensemen no matter what it seemed like. And now he found his way back in due to, injuries and a couple COVIDs with Siegenthaler there at first and PK. And he's played pretty well. He's played a lot better. He's played with a chip on his shoulder, and
he has. I have to say,
at first I thought he would be exposed, but I don't know. I think they might.
I did too, and that's why I said it was. I thought it was hard. It was hard to pick, who they're going to expose and who they're not going to expose. But I have to say, I've been impressed with him. But damn, have I been impressed with Kevin Ball? And that kid. Listen, we talked about it last week. There's a few things that he needs to fine tune in his game, and he will. Because, as you evolve as a defenseman, if that kid ends up being a real deal, my God, that he's a mountain of a man. It was funny because in last night's game, there's at one point, it was when it was tied 1-1. someone took a shot from the point, and Ken Danico goes, "Oh, that was blocked by ball." If you watch the replay, he doesn't so much block it. He's just such a massive human being that he was just standing in the right place at the right time. And you see the puck hit him, and he kind of like looks around like a fly just like ran into him. You know what I mean? He was just kind of like, "Wait, what the hell? What was that?" But I feel like, Clint Malarchuk. Thank you, Vin, on the YouTube side of town. Clint Malarchuk. That's who it is. If you want to look up something scary, Jesus, that's like a horror movie. And then Devils 1917. Sorry to go back to that, but he said Zednik was the one he thinks that it happened to. With the skate in the neck in that Florida game. I think it was Florida Tampa Bay or something like that. But anyways. But yeah, there's a lot of good promise, and to see the team actually playing really well, excluding last night's game. Yeah, they were playing pretty damn good. They were playing pretty damn good until like the wheels really fell off. After it went 3-1, it just felt like it fell apart. But
I tell you, they got the old win for Trotzer. Lou's coming. Lou is just like he's just standing up there in the balcony, just kind of looking. Just waiting, just waiting. He's like, I've done this before.
You got that right.
I can coach the team through the playoffs.
Somewhere Claude Julien was going, "Oh, this feels familiar." By the way, Cape May Brewing. We're not sponsored. We should be, but Cape May Brewing, Devil's Reach. My God, so good. The Belgian, delicious. So moving forward, with all the end of the year rapidly approaching, and all the things that are going to be happening. One more game, which is crazy to say. I have to say, my expectations were not really anything. Although we joke about it on the podcast where we're like, me and Shorts Guy were saying like, oh, they were going to make the playoffs or whatever. My expectations were like really nothing for this year because I had no idea what to expect with it. And I feel like I've kind of like watched every game, maybe more so in the beginning of the year where if they lost, I was disappointed, but I was never really angry. And then I got to the point where I got really, really angry, and then I let all that frustration out on the podcast. But I have to say, like, this team overall, like, you see that growth, you see that promise. You see Jack Hughes took some major strides this year, and you could see his game is starting to evolve. Jesper Bratt picking up his game. Nico, if he wasn't hurt and if he didn't have the COVID, who knows what kind of numbers he would have been putting up, because you see when he's in the lineup and he's actually healthy and doing stuff, what he's able to do.
When he can breathe normal. When he can breathe normal and not have the gate on his face, And by the way, Zacha is at his career high points for a season.
That's right. And hey, my boy, he's one goal away. He's got one game left. And if he scores one more goal, that's it. I gotta buy that jersey. Got to buy that McLeod jersey.
Buy that jersey.
By the way, I looked up one of the auction ones, and I'm like, I'm not.
He's gonna get taken by the Kraken.
I know he probably will. PK will be sitting there going like, "What about me?"
As soon as you get the jersey, he'll get taken by the Kraken or something like that the day before or something.
Well, if he doesn't score that 10th goal, maybe I'll just get a jersey. I'll get that Mikey McLeod jersey that everybody wants.
The jersey,
the old jersey. I have a question for you. Actually, man.
No. Okay, go ahead.
The UFAs coming into this year. There's one in particular that I find very interesting. Would you take a flyer on bringing back Blake Coleman?
I don't think so. I wouldn't.
I would.
I wouldn't be. I mean, like. I mean, I would. I think Tampa will probably try to maybe re-sign him. I don't see. I don't see him coming back.
I don't know.
He's what, like 29?
He is about 29 or something like that.
Yeah,
Hitting the prime of his career.
I don't see Fitzy doing that. I don't know.
Not at all? Nothing? No?
Nah.
I mean, like, it's nice because the Devils have such a young core, and you look at it and you're like, oh, look at all these pieces that we have in the minors. But at the same time, like, they do need some kind of veteran leadership out there. You could say, in theory, though, you could say, like, Nico is now considered a veteran because he's been in the league for 4 or 5 years, right? And Zacha is considered a veteran, even though that the core of this team is like Damon 24 years old.
Ryan Murray, if you bring him back. There's some older guys, but no. I agree on bringing in maybe a veteran or two, but I think it'll be more of like a 1-year deal. I don't think Blake Holman's going to be looking for like a 1-year deal. You know, he's going to be looking for like a 3 or a 4 or something like that. And I just don't think you want to lock when you have this amount of prospects. I mean, we have prospects for every position, essentially.
Every
locking.
position.
Yeah, I mean, locking someone in then for 3 or 4 years without, like, you know, being able to see, you know, what all these prospects have. And we got a lot. There's a lot, you know, like
a lot.
So I agree on bringing in. I agree on bringing in a veteran maybe for a while, and then, you know, trying to flip him at the trade deadline. You know, like I said. Or maybe, you know, it might end up where there is a package going for, you know, a bigger name at some point or something like that. But, you know, for right now, I don't see Tom Fitzgerald like making any sort of, I could be completely wrong, you know, but I don't see him making any sort of big splash unless it's maybe like a big trade where, you know, we're acquiring a really young stud talent, but we're going to have to give up like a D man and another prospect, you know, like a Jesper Bratt and a D prospect, you know, or something like that, you know.
That's where they find themselves in that very interesting position because, you know, we've talked about this pretty much ad nauseum. Like, the team is built not to win now, not at all. The team is still in that rebuild, but now they have so many assets. They have so many, you know, pieces that they can move around. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm very eager to see. You know, where they end up in the draft position, which, by God, is only like, what, 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away, something like that?
Well, June 2nd is the lottery. The draft itself isn't to the end of July. So we have some time. So we have the lottery.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm just to find out their position is really what I'm curious about.
And then we could run some mock drafts after that and see, you know, like, we can start talking about, you know, yeah.
And then you get the probability of Brandt Clark. You get the probability of Luke Hughes, which would be cool because 2 sets of brothers on the team or whatever. You get the probability of Owen Power. There's a lot of guys that are kind of clustered up in that top part of the draft. So to be honest with you, like, the potential of what's going to happen after June 2nd, I think when the Devils know exactly where they're going to be drafting, is going to determine a lot for this team. I don't think they can go any lower than I don't think they can go any lower than 5 right now. I don't think. I could be wrong about that. Let's actually look that up. Graham Clark and Brent Clark says Getty 27. Getty 27 wants Graham and Brent Clark. Heck yeah, dude. I'd be pretty down with that. Paulie J just said, is there a podcast you think they might trade, or is there a prospect they might try to trade in the offseason? He said, I'm thinking Boquist. And see, that's exactly what I was kind of leading into, is because you have the expansion draft, like we talked about in the very beginning of the show. There's going to be the potential of a team that has a piece that is a little bit more valuable than a Boquist, a little bit more valuable than maybe one of the pieces that we have. But if we can put a couple of those pieces together, maybe we can go and get a defenseman that we covet, or maybe we can go get a winger that we covet, or, you know, somebody that could finish for a lot of the setup guys that we covet, that we talk about all the time. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and also I just want to say hi to everyone on Facebook there, Facebook Live, Omar and Stacy and Steve and Daniel, Michael and Jerry here, Miovisky. All right. Scotty, you say flipping at the deadline. Do you think the Devils have a chance to make the playoffs? Maybe
next
not.
Year?
Next year, yeah. I mean, I originally thought they would have if they had a better year this year and not all the doo-doo that went on during the season, the stoppage, the no practice, the Nico freak injury, the COVID shutdown. It's just way too much. So possibly my goal, I think, for the team is to be above NHL 500 next year. Mm-hmm. I think they might. I'd like to see them kind of, where the Rangers sort of were ending up. They kind of put it out there a little bit earlier. I'd like to see the Devils as one of those teams maybe pushing, are we as good as the Caps and the Bruins and the Islanders next year? Probably not. Pittsburgh is getting older, though, but Crosby is still Crosby. He's still, Malkin is still Malkin. They have superstars over there. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to bounce. Well, I mean, next year the divisions will go back, but still, there's only a limited amount of space, and these teams are all in the one conference. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, but it'll be doable next year with the divisions going back. Do I see it happening? I can't say yes or no, but I definitely would like to see them, above NHL 500. And when I say flipping at the deadline, just because you trade, a veteran doesn't mean your team can't get better. We're going to get more younger and powerful. Even if we do flip someone, there are teams that deal guys away and still are in a playoff push and moving forward. We saw the Devils start playing better after, Palms and, they went on a little bit of a crap streak there, but then they started to put things together a little bit, the new leaders have to step up and start taking control of the room. And it looks like it was starting to happen. This last game there, like I said, the Islanders kind of handed it to, to wipe the ice with us there. But other than that, before that, we were starting to play really well. The chemistry was starting to go along. You start to see the lines develop.
Blackwood was 5-0 before that game. He was 5-0 with like a 9-something, save percentage. So that they were moving in the right direction. But that's the problem is they're still a young team. They're still going to have games where they're going to get blown out. But I'm going to piggyback off of what you're saying of just being NHL 500 at least next year. That is the goal.
At least. Yeah.
You want to see them string together solid chunks of games where they're winning 3-4 in a row. Then they lose 2 in a row, and then they go back to winning 2 in a row. And there's more of that winning balance to losing balance. Because right now it's the flip opposite. They'll lose 5 in a row, and then they'll win 2 or 3 in a row, and then they'll win, then they'll lose 3 in a row, and it's obviously it's losing hockey. And you're going to be at the bottom of the league. I agree with you 100% that I want to see them get to NHL 500. I want to see them be competitive, continue to grow, where you feel all right, next year, now we can start to have that conversation of let's add that one piece that we're missing. I know, listen, everybody loves the big, sexy names like a Laine. Defenseman-wise, Dougie Hamilton is going to be a UFA, but outside of that, this UFA class is not really much to speak of. But now is not.
If this was 2 years from now, then I'd say
I've come full circle. Yeah, I've come full circle because I used to be the one that would say just bring in this one dude and we could start to build around that guy. It doesn't. This team is not structured like that. This team has already got its little core. You have Nico, Jack, Ty. You have Pavel. You have Jasper. You have that little core. Now it's time to build around that core. Now you already have the pieces in place. Now you need to build around it. Defensively, they need to get a few more. Oh God, I hate to say this because it's so. Ooh, I almost cursed. It's so cliche. But you need to find those top-end defensemen, and that is where Tom Fitzgerald has to, work his magic. Let's just say, for all purpose sake, PK Subban gets taken by the Seattle Kraken. Tom Fitzgerald, during the process of the expansion draft, is able to work a deal where, unfortunately, he moves that Islanders first-round pick, which tons of teams are coveting those first-round picks. He moves that first-round pick that he got from the Islanders, which, by the way, right now looks like a genius move because if you look at it, Palmieri has 2 points in 16 games. Zajac has 2 points in 14 games. And Zajac was a healthy scratch like 4 times. So everybody that poo-pooed that deal can take a seat because I think that deal is pretty damn good. You could take that first-round pick. You could take a couple prospects that we have a little backlog on or a little log jam on, like a Boquist. You put that in a nice little package, and you send it to a team that's like, yo, we don't want to lose so-and-so. We're afraid that it's going to happen. We can't protect them because we already have X, Y, Z that we need to protect. And that's where you get your top, maybe one of your top 4 defensemen. It's not ideal, but it's a very strong possibility that something like that could happen. I see Sam has popped up, and he's probably going to tell me I'm wrong. Well,
no, I actually think you're right. So I guess we're both wrong.
We're all wrong. We're never right.
No, seriously. I like your mindset. I like your thinking about this whole expansion draft. Some people in the Facebook Live thinks, what happened to Sam Wu? Am I in the witness protection program? No, I'm not. I just took a break. But this is the way I'm looking at the defense. It sucks. And it's got to be rebuilt.
But you have pieces. But you have pieces. You have pieces. You have promise.
Wait a minute.
Scotty said help's on the way. Help's on the way because we've got these young kids, right? But in order to there's only 6 spots. There's 6 spots. I want to keep the depth on offense, including Mikey McLeod, if it means sacrificing one of our high-priced D guys. I like Severson, actually, but I'm looking at a team concept. Now, PK Subban could be it, but I don't know if they would actually take him. That's a high price tag. I understand the marketing and
correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that the Devils can retain some of his salary.
That part I don't know.
I believe that's part of the deal that they can retain some of their salary. I think. Because I think when Vegas did it, there was a lot of I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine kind of crap that went on.
Yeah, with Vegas, that's what went on.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, if in Sam Wu's perspective there, talking about, saving Mikey McLeod, there is a way to do that. Like we said, you can do 8 skaters instead of doing the 7 and 3. You can do, right? Is that what it is? Yeah, you could do like 8 total or something. I think hang on, let's go back and let's just read it. I have it right here.
I mean, you got to think that...
Okay, ready?
Go ahead.
Ready? Current NHL teams can protect 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 1 goalie, or 8 skaters, forwards, defensemen, and 1 goalie. So if you want to protect extra...
That's really weird because it's... I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's really weird that you can protect 10 or you can protect 8. Do you know what I mean? Like it seems like that's a little strange to me. But then again, that's NHL logic.
Well, this is what I'm predicting. Obviously, Ron Francis is running the show over there. My prediction, he hires Rod Brindamore, old buddy, old pal from Carolina, to coach the Kraken. And you got to assemble.
I thought that was already a done deal. I thought that was like there was people that were talking about that as being like a pretty much foregone conclusion. But there's some big names on the coaching Ferris wheel. Wait,
you weren't supposed to announce that. Shh.
Oh, nuts. Oh, there's somebody knocking on my door. I got to go get. No, I'm just kidding.
Now you're in the witness protection program.
I did not know what I was saying. No, but we also have to visit the fact that there are some big names that are now on the coaching market, and there's one coach that did coach in that area that kind of left on not such good terms that I think would love to come back and stick it to the team that he used to coach for.
Ooh.
Can you connect the dots of what I am saying to you right now?
Should we call Larry Brooks and ask him?
Listen to me. John Tortorella. Yeah. All of a sudden, Larry Brooks gets traded to the Seattle Times. John Tortorella, if you guys have not kind of put it together, John Tortorella getting promoted to the head coach of the Seattle Kraken or being asked to coach the Seattle Kraken would make sense on a lot of levels. Number one, you have NHL experience. You have a Stanley Cup winning coach. You have proven track record. And you also have a grudge, an instant grudge with the Vancouver Canucks, which are going to be the Seattle Kraken's number one rival. My friends, it's all right. The script writes itself, really. If the Seattle Kraken are smart, and you really listen, Seattle is 100%. I have family that live in Seattle. I've been to a Seahawks game. It is a crazy sports city, and people go nuts over their sports. But if you want to generate buzz for your hockey team, if you want to generate more buzz, because it's already excited, everybody's already jacked over there for a hockey team. And the Thunderbirds, which have been an AHL team before they were an AHL team, they've been just the minor league team affiliated with Seattle for the longest time, have a huge following over there. The Kraken are going to have a really nice welcome. But how do you spice it up a little bit? You get people like a PK Subban. There's the face of the franchise. You get a coach like John Tortorella, Vancouver. You start that rivalry with Vancouver, boom, right away, right off the bat, because Torts is going to go up there and mouth off about something that Vancouver once did. And then all of a sudden you get that juice flowing, and the franchise is set in stone, baby. And if they don't win right away, you're like, well, at least we got this, like, yeah, we can punch somebody in the face kind of mentality, like it literally writes itself.
Beer Baron, this is Seattle. It's not New Jersey. Nobody punches each other in the mouth out there.
Yeah, it's true. Everybody's like, hey, where are you from?
Yeah,
everybody's in harmony. By the way, just because I don't think you guys know this, but the rumors are that, Brind'Amour re-signed in Carolina.
Yeah, Devils 1917 on the YouTube side of town says there's an article on Sportnet Canada where Brind'Amour is working on a 3-year extension with Carolina. So there goes that. Yeah. And that's why Tortorella, mark it here. We said it first on the Let's Go Devils podcast that John Tortorella will be the Seattle Kraken.
Isn't he under contract with Columbus? Isn't he under contract with Columbus?
He's gone. Poop, poop, poop. He's gone. See, listen. I think he quit or he ended. Sam, I know you just stepped away. Look, make sure I'm right about this, but I just saw a whole big thank you, John Tortorella thing from Columbus. So he's been there for 6 years. He needs to change the scenery. I think this is the perfect move for him. Go back so you can stick it to the Vancouver Canucks. He's got the resume, too. If he didn't have a resume, you'd be like, why would you want to hire this guy? But he has a resume. Is he? And he's not a coach that's going to, like, a lot of people bag on him because they're like, oh, well, he's not a coach that's going to, mentor a young team. No, but if you have a team that's going to be structured around the expansion draft, which is going to have a more veteran presence, you're going to want to have a coach that's going to be ready to handle that kind of squad. Am I right or am I wrong? You're cringing, but dude, it makes total sense. Total sense.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like the older guys.
Ryan Miller can be their goalie coach.
I feel like the older guys are the ones who don't want to put up with all that sort of stuff over the younger guys.
Yeah, but he could have a total
except the superstars.
Yeah,
well, it's like when the Giants had to talk to Tom Coughlin and be like, "Dude, Strahan was like, come on, guys, you gotta chill. You gotta chill a little bit, bro. We gotta go a little easier in training camp. You're killing dudes here in training camp. You gotta chill out a little bit, He did, but I feel like, I don't know. Is Torts gonna chill? I don't know. I don't know if Torts will ever chill.
I don't know if he'll chill. I don't know if he'll chill out. But I mean, given the opportunity, I think I honestly, hold on. The Columbus, and this is from Devils 1917, dude. By the way, Devils 1917 on YouTube. Thank you very much for all this inside information. Devils 1917. The Columbus Blue Jackets and head coach John Tortorella have mutually agreed to part ways. The team announced Sunday. Tortorella's contract expires this summer. Boom! Perfect timing for the Seattle Kraken to name him the head coach during the first, and the first overall pick is John Tortorella and GM Ron Francis. And I bet they're friends.
Oh, yeah?
If you can't, this makes
you bet it.
You can't. I know you're laughing about it, but dude,
my source
is
saying no. It's going. He's going to the Kraken. Brenda Moore, calling it now.
Well, you can't. No, wait, Sam, you can't do that. You can't come in and say you have a source. Say Brenda Moore, even though Sportsnet is saying that he's going to sign a 3-year extension. You can't jump in, say that, and then leave. So expand on your thoughts.
No, yeah,
I'm texting.
That's your cue.
Now.
That's your cue, Sam Wu.
Oh, he's texting us now. Inside information.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Hey, you know what? You know what? It's why we have so much fun on the Let's Go Devils podcast. We're speculating right now.
You know, Sam was like, remember when Will Ferrell did Harry Carey? And he'd be like, "Hi,
can I tell you something? Hi,
hey, ever eat a hot dog?
What's your favorite ice cream? Mine's cotton candy. It tastes like a party inside your mouth. The cubs are biting, and it's really hot outside. I want to have a cotton candy ice cream. How do you take two things and put them together, and it tastes so good? It's a wonder." Anyways,
but by the way,
without moving around like that too.
By the way, Devils 1917. What does Sportsnet know? Don't you trust me more than Sportsnet up in Canada? They've been wrong.
Nobody trusts you, Sam. Nobody.
Yeah, who's trusting
Apparently
you?
You've been
Survey is coming to the Devils.
It's Sheldon Survey. Oh,
the greatest deception of all time. We would call that day the Great Deception.
The Great Deception.
All I know is there's a lot of things that are going to happen. This team is going to look obviously different, but there's a lot of core pieces to this team that are going to be good. The defense needs a lot of work. I don't know what's going to happen to the coaching staff. I don't know what's going to happen.
Gallant's still out there too.
Gallant and who led the Vegas Knights to the Stanley Cup Finals the first year? That would be that'd be Gallant.
Who's their head of scouting? David Conti.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well, it's kind of easy when you get to pick one from every team, though. I got to say,
Yeah.
Even you might be able to do that.
When they already have a full scouting report on them because they've been in the NHL for like 5 years. Yeah. How is this guy? Looks at Topps rookie card. He's good. Let me take out my cards real quick. Hold on. Take them off my bicycle, suppose. I can't even talk. What the hell was that?
All right, so everyone on Facebook says you're crazy, Beer Baron, about Torts.
Well, what?
Everyone
you guys,
says,
you're the crazy one.
Rumors are Torts up to Buffalo. I can see that. It's nice and cold and bitter up there in Buffalo. That'd be perfect for John Tortorella.
And
that'll just make him extra. That'll make him extra chippy for the press. Oh yeah, that's what you need.
But Scotty, tell me that doesn't make total sense though. If he went to the Kraken, tell me that does not make sense.
With Gallant, it makes a little bit more sense, being that he just did the exact same thing. He took a team of veterans that were put together like that and took them straight to the finals. Like, I don't know. I feel like a player's coach, more like Gallant, would be someone a better fit for that. Like Torts is like a thing where like you got to know as a player, you're going to want to know you're going into that situation first. Like I feel like kind of deal. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder. They're going to have to name their head coach sooner than later. Nobody finds it suspicious that this is he just ended his contract with the. Listen, I'm full tinfoil hat right now, man. I'm full tinfoil hat.
Ray Leo just hit it. I wouldn't be surprised to see Torts back with the Rangers. Give him a bunch.
Or that. Because David Quinn, there's a good chance David Quinn's getting axed at the end of the year because what the hell is his name? Chris Drury did not sound like he was. Although him and Chris Drury, I believe, played together in Boston College, so there's a connection between those two. They were friends from the Boston area. So, and I think that's a Dolan move. Listen, I'm not a Rangers fan, but I have to listen to it on the radio all the time because the only time they talk about hockey is when they talk about the stupid Rangers. But that's a total Dolan move to be like,
we're Sirius XM, the old NHL network. They talk about all different types of teams all day long. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I need to. But that is a Jim Dolan move. Devils. Yeah, right. But listen, this team's going to look different, but I have a good feeling that we have some pieces in place. But I honestly believe, crazy or not, that the expansion draft is going to be the key to rebuilding this defensive core. I feel like we could possibly be drafting Luke Hughes. That means you insert another possible stud defenseman into the system, but he's going to be a couple years away. Depending on who they end up getting in the draft, depending on where they end up drafting, I don't even think that the draft is going to be the answer to this. I think the answer to solving the defensive woes of this team, not free agency, it's going to be trades, and it's going to be a direct result of the expansion draft.
Okay. I just want to point this out because I know we're getting close to wrapping up time here. I just want to go through these just real quick. When we're thinking about next year, just keep some of these names in mind. Dawson Mercer.
Got it.
Alexander Holtz.
Got it.
Arnie Talavidi.
Got
Graham
it.
Clark.
Yeah.
Riley Walsh. Nikita Ahoyuk. Michael Vukojevic. Jesus, that one's a hard one. I think that's. I don't know if we're gonna hear anything from Fabian Sutherland. Good old Mohamed Doolin. And Mohamed Doolin as well.
I think Sutherland could be a dark horse of cracking the NHL lineup next year. But there's of course. You just named
because it's his final year of his it's his final year of his rookie contract, so that might be the reason why he comes.
You just named a boatload of guys that are going to have an opportunity. And I think that's one of the best things that's going to be about this team is because we're in a situation where we don't have to go looking in free agency to fill holes. We can just try to let some of these, younger players work their way into the lineup.
Tice Thompson.
You have a lot of RFAs. You have a lot of RFAs that need to be re-signed that we've talked about before. But keep in mind, just because you have chips doesn't mean you have to have it with your lunch. Just because they have all these prospects doesn't mean that they're going to have to. They don't have to mature all these prospects and bring them up through the system. There's a very strong.
I really
possibility.
like having chips with my sandwich. I mean,
we all?
You couldn't come up with an easier analogy. Like that's a tough one. Damn.
Well,
it's like
you
can eat hamburgers, but you can never have French fries ever again. Like that's a tough one. Like, man.
Hey.
Jeez.
Right to the point. God. But some of those guys.
Are you one of those guys who put chips on your sandwich?
Hell yeah, dude. What are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
Anybody that doesn't I used to, I still do. If I got chips and I want to put on, I'll eat the chips and then I'll be like, I got a sandwich, and I'm like, yo, this is good. It's good marriage. Boom. How do you not? It adds a little crunch, a little texture, a little pizzazz.
Do you mix up all your food on the dinner plate and say, well, it's gonna get mixed up in my stomach anyway?
It's all going to the same place. It's all going to the same place. If I got mashed potatoes and I got
your kids ever get with that one?
Vegetables, yeah. If I got mashed potatoes and I got mixed vegetables right next to it, you get a scoop and you start to dab all over the plate, and you're like, look at that. That's a whole meal right there. And then you boop. Hey, you can go to a fancy restaurant. Here's something fun to do. Anybody out there? You go to a fancy restaurant and you order something, the fanciest thing that you can order, as long as you can afford it. Don't try to dine and ditch. That's a terrible thing to do. You order the fanciest thing that you can think of, and make sure you're in the middle of the restaurant, surrounded by really fancy people. And when you order it, you go, yeah, I'll have the filet with this, this, and this. And I can't wait to turn this into poop. And then you just sit there and enjoy your meal.
I usually order the milk steak with jelly beans.
A milk steak, huh?
How's your milk steak this evening, sir? That's a little It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference.
If you're not aware.
Get it. But anyway.
Anywhere.
Well, this has been fun.
Yeah, dude.
Talking a little expansion draft.
And
thank you to everyone on
tomorrow night I might be on the post. I might be on the post because the last game of the year.
Oh, final post game of the year tomorrow. Thank you for everyone who's been joining us throughout the whole entire season. Hey, how about a big one more time belated happy birthday to the GOAT, Martin Brodeur, and of course to all of the hockey moms out there. Happy Mother's Day! Woo!
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to my beautiful wife, to my amazing mom, to my amazing mother-in-law, to all the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day. Hey, and guess what? Whoever told Samu that he doesn't know what he's talking about on YouTube, you can cram it with walnuts ugly because that man knows more than you'll ever know in a single day. Cram it.
I tell him that all the time.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I got your back, Sam. I got your back.
Thank you. And I wanna let you guys know. Most people don't know this, but I've been talking to a couple people. Nick Villano of Pucks and Pitchforks blog, Roger Musa of Hockey Buzz. I'll be writing very soon for those publications.
Oh, the return! The return!
I'm probationary.
Sheldon Surrey.
Probationary.
The return of Sheldon Surrey.
Oh my God. Just trying to help the podcast, promote itself through other media channels as well.
Very nice. Very nice.
And thank you all. And we'll be back for post game tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
After the Devils,
wrapping up 2021.
After the Devils trounce the Flyers in their own building. Till next time, let's go Devils.
Love you.